What up, y'all? It's your boy Manny, and this is another episode of Talking Sports with Manny. Let's get it. On this episode, I'm going to be breaking down 25 quarterbacks for fantasy. So pull out your notebooks, get your pens, take notes. Let's get ready to break down these quarterbacks. I would definitely love to hear you guys' opinion on these quarterbacks. Ever wanted to make a podcast but never really knew how? Well, Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. There's a creation tool that allows you to record right from your phone or computer, and as well as editing as well. Anchor will distribute your podcast to places such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can also monetize from your podcast. You can download the Anchor app for free at the App Store, or you can go to anchor.fm to get started. So guys, at number 25, I have Drew Luck. He was drafted by the Denver Broncos from Missouri. He's 6'4", 228 pounds. Took a lot of strides last year, especially the last two games of the season. Against the Houston Texans, he had 309 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. And in the last game of the season versus the LA Chargers, he had 134 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. The good thing is that Drew Luck started to take strides in the system that the Broncos have set for him. This year, they added Jerry Jeudy and KJ Hamler to Cortland Sutton, who's already there. So I'm expecting great things out of Drew Luck this year just because of the weapons, okay? I have him ranked at 25. He can definitely go higher than 25. At number 24, I have Sam Darnold. He was drafted very high 2 years ago, and he hasn't had the best of seasons yet. Last year, he had 3,000 yards, 19 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. This year, if they can protect him and keep him upright, he can definitely get 4,000 yards passing, about 25 touchdowns, and hopefully he can keep his interceptions down. The good thing about Sam Darnold is the Jets are not going to be good, so they're always going to be losing, and they're always going to be throwing to catch up. So in fantasy, forget about the names, forget about who people are. It's all about statistics when it comes to fantasy. So I have Sam Darnold at number 24. At number 23, I have Gardner Minshew. Mr. Mustache, the Minshew Magic. This guy came out of nowhere last year. He was drafted in the 6th round, and he outperformed some of the quarterbacks that were taken above him. The Jacksonville Jaguars are going to give him another shot to solidify himself as the franchise quarterback. Last year, he had 3,200 yards passing. He had 21 touchdowns and only 6 interceptions. What I like best about Gardner Minshew is that he's smart. He's not the most talented guy, but he's very smart, okay? He did rush 67 times for 344 yards. So in fantasy, when quarterbacks are rushing, that's a bonus. So you get you a Russian quarterback that's going to give you 300 or more yards rushing. That's a bonus. So I definitely like Gardner Minshew this year. They have upgraded their weapons. Fournette caught a lot of balls last year. I expect DJ Chark to take another step, and they drafted another guy in the draft that's going to definitely help them out. At number 22, I have Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater had a decent season last year. He stepped in for Drew Brees, and he really sustained the Saints offense. His numbers in those few games is not going to wow you, but he was very consistent. He had 1,300 yards, 9 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. So one thing about Teddy Bridgewater is that he's not going to wow you with stats, but if you are playing in a 2-quarterback league, Teddy Bridgewater is not a bad second quarterback at the tail end of the draft. So if you can get him like late in the draft as your second quarterback or even as your third quarterback in a 2-quarterback league, that's not bad. I expect him to have maybe 3,500 yards passing with the Carolina Panthers. I see him with about maybe 18 to 20 touchdowns and about less than 5 interceptions because he's so careful. He's going to rush for a few yards here and there. He might get you a rushing touchdown or two. At number 21, I have one of my favorite quarterbacks from last season, Ryan Tannehill. He had an amazing season with the Titans. When he took over for Marcus Mariota, the team really just took flight and just went to a whole nother level. He had 2,700 yards plus passing. He had 22 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. Ryan Tannehill is a guy, usually in his career, he'll give you about 4,000 yards passing. He'll give you about 20 to 27 touchdowns. And for the most part, he's had about 12 interceptions just about every year. But last year, of course, he missed 4 games. So 6 interceptions in a full 16-game season. You're probably looking at 10 interceptions. I see Ryan Tannehill with about 25 to 27 touchdowns this year. And he does rush. He does run with the ball. So he is a Russian quarterback, but you wouldn't really know. He had 185 rushing yards last season, and he had 4 rushing touchdowns. Rushing touchdowns is a very good thing for a quarterback in fantasy. So grab you Ryan Tannehill, y'all. So guys, at number 20, I got Jimmy Garoppolo. Had a great season with the 49ers last year. Took him to the Super Bowl. But he had just under 4,000 yards passing, 27 touchdowns, and 13 interceptions. Those are great numbers. I know a lot of guys were down on Jimmy G in fantasy, but 27 touchdowns and about 4,000 yards passing are great numbers. So at number 19, I got Derek Carr. A lot of people don't like Derek Carr just because ever since that one magical season he had early in his career, he has not duplicated that MVP type season again. Last year, he did have 4,000 passing yards, 21 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. So he is a solid QB2 if you are playing in a 2-quarterback league. At number 18, I got Baker Mayfield. Had a terrible season last year. Passed for 3,800 yards, 22 touchdowns, and 21 interceptions. Those are terrible. But this year, with additional weapons and a whole nother year as a quarterback, you would think that he'll gain some more experience to really go to the next level. He got OBJ, he got Jarvis Landry, he got Austin Hooper, he got Njoku, Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb. He got weapons. So this year is make or break for Baker Mayfield. If he does not produce this year, he's gone. So he's definitely a guy that has the potential of getting 30 to 35 touchdowns in a season. So Baker might be that sleeper pick, but I'm not drafting him. But hey, he's available for anybody who wants him. At number 17, I got Kirk Cousins. I know that he's in a Russian offense, but the thing about Kirk Cousins is that he's a very good quarterback, fantasy-wise. He can produce, okay? He's a gunslinger. Last year, he had a decent season. He had 3,600 yards passing. Kirk is usually anywhere from 4,200 to about 4,900 yards passing. He's usually about 30 touchdowns, a year and about 10 interceptions. So expect for Kirk Cousins to have a better season this up and coming year. I'm seeing about 4,400 yards passing and about 32 touchdowns, maybe 9 to 10 interceptions. So Kirk Cousins. So guys, at number 15, I got Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers did not have a good season last year. For whatever the reason might be, he still had 4,600 yards passing. He had 23 touchdowns and 20 interceptions. Whether Melvin Gordon was missing, whatever the drama was, Phillip Rivers was just not Phillip Rivers last year. Most years, Phillip Rivers is the most disrespected quarterback when it comes to fantasy. What he normally gives you is 42 to 4,500 passing yards every single year. He gives you anywhere from 28 touchdowns to 32 touchdowns every single year. Now, the interception numbers are high, but he makes up for it with the touchdowns. At number 14, we got the GOAT himself, Tom Brady. Going to a whole new team, a whole new system. He got Gronk out there. He got Mike Evans out there. He got Chris Godwin out there. He got Cameron Brate, O.J. Howard. They have two good running backs that are young that nobody knows about. Tom Brady will have a good season. At the minimum, he'll give you 4,000 yards passing. He'll give you 30 touchdowns with those weapons that he has. He'll give you under 10 interceptions. So the ceiling, he can get you about 4,600 yards passing. He can get you 35 to 40 touchdowns, even at this age. Tom Brady is a guy that gets it done. I am sick and tired of people counting him out. Every year, he just continues to produce. And we're just talking about fantasy. At number 13, we got Jared Goff. At number 14, we got Jared Goff. Jared Goff is a guy who puts up numbers. There's always question about, is he really a good quarterback? Is he not a good quarterback? I don't care. It's fantasy, okay? What Jared Goff is going to give you every year, the last 2 years, is 4,600 yards passing. He's going to get you anywhere between 22 to 32 touchdowns. 32 touchdowns, that's a great Jared Goff. 22 touchdowns, that's a mediocre Jared Goff. So who are we going to see in year 5? I don't know, but he does have weapons. He does have Cooper Kupp. He does have Robert Woods. He does have Higbee. So he has the talent. He has the weapons. It's all about which Jared Goff are we going to see. And at number 13, we got Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford at number 13 had a solid season last year. He was a top 6 quarterback between week 1 to week 9. I actually traded for Matthew Stafford. Then after I made the trade, I was looking at the numbers like, wow, this guy is really good. He had 385 passing yards the first game, had 3 touchdowns. He had a game that he had 406 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. When Matthew Stafford is healthy, he's one of the better fantasy quarterbacks in the league. He has Kenny Golladay out there, and he has Marvin Jones. He has TJ Hawkinson and entering his second season. You got Robert Swift that can catch passes. So expect Matthew Stafford to ball out this year. At number 12, you got Drew Brees, one of the GOATs in the game. All he does is gets touchdowns. He's going to get you about 4,500 passing yards this year. He's going to get you anywhere between 27 to 35 touchdowns, okay? And he keeps his interception numbers down. The last 3 seasons, 8 interceptions, 5 interceptions, 4 interceptions. So enough about Drew Brees. Go grab him. He's going to be there at the end of the draft. You want to grab him. At number 11, I got Big Ben Roethlisberger. This guy right here is going to ball out this season. I know he was hurt last year, but when Big Ben is healthy, he makes that team go. He got Juju Smith-Schuster out there. You got Deontay Johnson, who had a great rookie season. You got James Washington. They drafted Chase Claypool, okay? They got weapons. You got James Conner coming back in a contract year. He wants to ball out. So expect for Ben Roethlisberger to pass for over 5,000 yards. Yes, I said 5,000 yards. He's going to get you 5,000 yards, about 32 to 35 touchdowns, but he will get you interceptions because he is a gunslinger, but he makes up for it in yards and touchdowns. I'm about to freestyle, y'all. Y'all ready? Just kidding. All right. At number 10, we got Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz is a quarterback that always produces numbers when he's healthy. The thing is he going to be healthy? Last year, he had 4,000 yards passing, 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. If you look at his career, he's a pretty solid quarterback when it comes to fantasy. The last 3 seasons, he's giving you 7 interceptions each of the last 3 seasons. So he keeps his interception numbers down. Okay, he's giving you 33 touchdowns, 21 touchdowns, 27 touchdowns. And this year, the Eagles added more weapons, more speed. So this should bode well for Carson Wentz. If anything, he'll get you the exact same numbers, which is 4,000 yards, 27 touchdowns, and about 7 interceptions. At number 9, I got Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan did not have a good season last year. He had 4,400 yards, 26 touchdowns, and 14 interceptions. To some, that's a great season for their quarterback, but those interception numbers really hurt, especially coming off the season he had the year before when he had 4,900 yards passing, 35 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. I do expect Matt Ryan to have a bounce back season this year. He will have 30 plus touchdowns this season and about 10 interceptions. At number 8, I got Aaron Rodgers. This guy produces every single year. I know a lot of guys were down on Aaron Rodgers last year just because he was not Superman Aaron Rodgers. All throughout his career, I cannot remember the last time he had double-figure interceptions, okay? So he always keeps his interceptions down under 8 each and every season. He gets you about, 4,200 to about 4,600 yards passing every single year. And he can get you anywhere from 25 touchdowns to 39 touchdowns. But the last 3 seasons, his touchdown numbers have not been more than 26 touchdowns. But I do expect Aaron Rodgers to have a bounce back season. He wants to show people that he can still play, that he is still one of the best quarterbacks to ever play this game. You go out there and you drafted Jordan Love. He's really going to show out. He's going to show people like, look, hey, I am Aaron Rodgers. So expect for Aaron Rodgers to have a great season this year. At number 7, I got Deshaun Watson. Okay, he had 3,800 yards passing last year, 26 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. The reason why I like Deshaun Watson is that he has ability to run the ball. You never know when he's going to run the ball, and he does get rushing touchdowns. So Deshaun Watson, y'all, grab him. So at number 6, I got Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray had a great season last year, passing for 3,000 plus yards. He had 20 touchdowns as well as 12 interceptions, but he made it up with his running ability. He rushed 93 times for 544 yards, 4 rushing touchdowns. So Kyler Murray is one of them guys, man, that you might want to grab, okay? Because when you're running the ball and rushing for touchdowns, that's awesome, okay? You got Josh Allen coming in at number 5. This guy right here is going to have a great season coming up. He passed for 3,000 plus yards, 20 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, and then now you add a Stephon Diggs. Then he rushed for 510 yards, 10 yards last year. And then he had 9 rushing touchdowns. 9 rushing touchdowns. The year before that, his rookie season, he had 8 rushing touchdowns. So for the simple fact that you're giving me 500 yards rushing and at least 8 touchdowns, yes, he might go higher than 5. At number 4, you got Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott almost threw for 5,000 passing yards last year. And what do they do to reward him? They give him a CeeDee Lamb. So you got CeeDee Lamb added to this receiving core that has Amari Cooper and Michael Gallup. Okay? He's going to pass for more than 30 touchdowns this year, especially if he wants another contract that's bigger than what he has now. So I believe that Dak Prescott does play this year. I don't see him sitting out this season, but anything is possible. So expect for 45 to 5,000 yards passing, expect 30 to 35 touchdowns, and about 10 interceptions. And Dak Prescott is a quarterback that runs with the ball. So he's going to rush for, 300 plus yards, okay? And he's going to get you 3 to 4 scores. All right, guys. So at number 3, I got Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson last year passed for 4,000 plus yards. He had 31 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Not only that, he rushed for 300 plus yards and another 3 scores. Russell Wilson is going to be a man possessed this season. I see Russell Wilson passing for more than 4,100 yards. DK Metcalf is going to take that next step. Lockett is going to take that next step. He's going to pass for a lot of yards. He is pissed off that he didn't win the MVP. So I see him coming for that MVP trophy. Not only that, he's going to put the team on his back and rush the ball like he's always done. So expect for Russell Wilson to have a great season. He might end up as the best quarterback in fantasy next year. And number 2, no surprise. Well, surprise to some. I got Patrick Mahomes. Okay, we've now gotten a sample of 2 seasons for Patrick Mahomes. Okay, his first full year as a starter, he had 5,000 yards, 50 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. I don't see him getting close to 50 touchdowns anytime soon. That does not mean that he can't. Okay, this next season, I see Patrick Mahomes about 4,500 yards passing. Let's just give him 30 to 35 touchdowns and about 7 interceptions. He's going to run with the ball when he needs to. If he gives you a rushing score or 2, his numbers can really go up. But I don't see him getting more than 35 touchdowns. All right, guys. So at number 1, we got the GOAT of last season, the GOAT of fantasy last year. If you had this guy on your team, you probably won the championship. This guy right here is number 1. And he's probably going to be number 1 again this season. Okay, I'm going to start with his rushing stats. This guy rushed 176 times for 1,200 yards rushing. Okay, so a QB rushed for 1,200 yards and had 7 touchdowns. These are RB1 numbers. This is insane. I'm going to say this one more time. He rushed 176 times for 1,200 yards rushing. 7 touchdowns. That's just insane. That's insane. Then to his passing numbers weren't bad at all. He threw for 3,000 yards passing. He had 36 passing touchdowns and 4 interceptions. It does not get any better than that. 6 interceptions. It does not get any better than that. Lamar Jackson can possibly shatter the rushing record that he already set. I know he's on a Madden cover. The Madden curse is over. The last 3 guys that were on the Madden cover blew up. So getting Lamar Jackson on the Madden cover and then he's pissed off because he didn't get to the conference finals, best believe he's about to ball out. Lamar Jackson, number 1. And if you can get this guy in Dynasty, you want to go grab him. Thank you guys for catching this episode. This episode was really fun. For those of you guys that have been rocking with me since the beginning, I appreciate you guys. To my new listeners, I appreciate you guys. If you guys can share this podcast with 1 or more, it means a lot to me. I'm now on YouTube as well. Apple, Google, Spotify, no matter where you are listening from, it's all love. If you guys can please subscribe and rate and leave a review, it would really bless my heart, man. Appreciate you guys. Follow me on Twitter at TS with Manny. Follow me on Instagram at TS with Manny. You guys stay safe. You guys be blessed. I love y'all.